Hey everybody, I'm here to talk about the very straightforward task of transforming the world's worst industry. So I am a real estate developer. I've been doing that my whole career. Started in New York and started with no money and had the good fortune of great timing and working really hard and had a lot of early success and built a company that had some good recognition, and I found myself at around the age of 35 having already accumulated enough wealth to retire and living in this beautiful penthouse in lower Manhattan, and an apartment I designed that was published all over the world. And I felt a little bit empty, and I knew that I wanted to do something different. And I had to come to the realization that I was just being less than. And I was working in the industry that is the biggest contributor in the world to climate change. And that was also when I started the spiritual awakening, and I knew I just couldn't continue on that path and had to come up with a different model. And so I started asking questions like we were asking this morning of how can we reinvent real estate? And that was 15 years ago. And one thing that we didn't cover and that nobody ever covers is that if you look at this list of 12 things, all of them are significantly impacted by real estate, but that's never a part of the conversation. And so the thing that I think a lot of people are missing today, particularly in the abundance movement, is the idea that with more money, wealth creation, and more innovation, that's better. And in some ways it is, yes, but what's the measure of abundance? And the fact of the matter is, we're getting less happy. And people don't think about real estate as playing a role in actually solving that problem. So we have a climate crisis and we have a mental health crisis. And real estate can play a pivotal role in solving both of those. The biggest impact conference in the US, nobody's talking about this at all. Despite the fact that it's the biggest asset class in the world by a huge margin. And I think the problem is it's so ubiquitous, it's under our nose. We're in it all the time. 90% of the time we spend is in buildings, but nobody's looking to solve the problem of how to rethink how to develop these buildings. The picture on the left is a typical American subdivision real estate development project. This is what a lot of people aspire to live in. There's no nature. People don't usually know their neighbors, and it's sold us, and can we do better than that? The picture on the right is actually a rendering of one of our amenity spaces at our pilot project, which is 5 minutes from here, called Shift Esperanza. And a lot of our work deals with really redefining the idea of place rather than just space. And developers, they only talk in metrics of square feet and what they can sell or rent it for. They don't think about any deeper, more creative conversations about how real estate impacts people's lives. And so that's what we do. And the business model is around how do we add value in people's lives that they'll pay for that has nothing to do with square meters or square feet. And you often hear the term regenerative development, regenerative real estate development. It doesn't have a clear definition. People throw it around pretty loosely. It's become the new word for sustainability. And so we create our own definition. For any real estate development, you have 4 stakeholders: the land, the environment, the residents, and the surrounding community. So for us to call a shift project regenerative, it has to leave each of those 4 stakeholders in a better place when we're done than when we start. I can't really describe a new model in such a short presentation. I'll touch on, because it's not 1 or 2 things, it's actually like 200 things. And it's really taking a very, very deep approach to rethinking the way we imagine it, we envision it, we plan it, we build it, we operate it, and we finance it. And we even market it and who we attract to come to our communities. 2 that I'll just touch on is, our model is we only buy land that had previously been forest, that had been deforested. It gives us the opportunity to come back and have a reforestation program in conjunction with our housing program. And then the other piece I'll mention is our standard model is we pledge 10% of our profits for every project to give to local philanthropic organizations. And so we want, when we're all done, for the surrounding community to look at our project and say, Shift is the best thing that's ever happened to this community.
They're reading a lot.
This is just a master plan for Shift Esperanza. So this is our pilot. It is planned as a scalable model. It's not designed to, this is just a conscious form of real estate development that's designed using best practices for it to survive and thrive on its own. Without it, our job is just to birth it into existence to last forever. We have 13 mini neighborhoods, and as well as a commercial village. We have each mini neighborhood has its own community amenity space, and then we have shared amenities for the entire project. We also have an 8-acre permaculture farm and 8 home designs. We're very design forward firm and have always been, as well as condominiums. And we've proven the model already. We've already started building, we're fully financed, we've sold 24 homes or condos to people. And this is the really key part, and it came up this morning, of this idea of a trade-off between should we invest in extractive things and then use the profits to invest in better things. This is a much more profitable business model than the standard real estate development model. 99% of developers don't care at all about consciousness. They don't care at all about impact. And they're not interested in doing this because it's complicated. Our mission is to show that this is more profitable, so the people that don't care at all are going to do it anyway because it's a more profitable way of doing things. That's how we have